Hey everybody, welcome back to Dicing Death. Sorry for cutting you off again, Ryan. I have this habit of asking him a question when there's like 3 seconds left in the intro, and then he's like trying to respond. I'm like, sorry, we have to go live.
That's fine. I'll get back to you on that one in approximately 1 hour when we break again.
Perfect.
For now, bat role play. Right, there's a thunderstorm.
There's a thunderstorm.
And a lone bat fluttering through the downpour. Out above winter's reach, leaving the pounding, flickering forge of the small village below. Out and over the Blumwood, over miles and miles. 24. So we said that takes like 3 hours, maybe just over 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And this bat flies out over the Limdal Plain, from barn to barn, stable to stable, estate to estate, town to town. Checking in. Yeah, searching.
What are you looking for?
Black horses. At this point, ideally a stallion, but we'll see what we find. I don't think anyone pays any mind to a
lone bat?
solo bat.
No.
Maybe it's a little spooky or cool, but
I think at this point in time, everything is spooky to these people. It's
of course.
been a bad time for them. So let's see how long it takes you.
Dicing, or is this your first druid you've ever had to play as a player character?
I guess.
I feel like with this class, there's so many different avenues you can take it.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, we're sort of doing shotgun approach and like playing all the aspects of this necromancer character.
But you could just take it down one route or the other.
Yeah. You don't like the idea of doing non-mammals? Anyways, we'll get into that another time.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I specifically called out mammals, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. For now.
So it'll take you 12 barns, 12 areas. I guess 12 barns you can do in maybe 3 villages before you find a suitable black stallion for your desires. This stallion is not in one of the little peasant homes. It is situated in a very nice, well-kept barn on the coast of the Limdal Plain, right next to the estate of some minor lord, some tiny little, not even a baron, just a well-to-do noble lord with really well kept up buildings and gardens. This stable looks like it's been recently modified and improved. These people look like they have money and status and have had easy lives.
But no walls.
That's true. There are no walls around the barn.
Or locks.
The gate is locked, or the door to the barn is locked. You can slip in through like a little bat hiding hole up top.
The little bat flies in through the barn window, of course, right? It's perched in the stall of this of the horse, right?
Yeah.
Is this a war horse or just a?
It's a beautiful riding horse. Yeah.
Why are you talking about how pretty the horse is?
I'm trying to emphasize the status of the owners of the horse.
Or the suitability of the horse for demonic rituals?
That too, yes. But this is more, I'm trying to hint that they have Eridonian origins. The owners.
To justify horse theft?
I don't think you need justifications for horse theft when you are culling the souls to raise your undead armies.
We've got bigger moral quandaries.
Yeah. So stealing a horse is not that big of a deal at this point.
Yeah. What is stopping this horse from leaving on its own?
Oh, it's in a barn. It's in a stall, which is
yeah.
closed, and then the gates are locked. And give me a perception check to listen to the insides of this place during the stormy night. I guess Bat's probably... Well, yeah, whatever. You don't hear anything. It's fine. I was almost going to say you should have advantage, but it's a stormy night, so I think that would probably cancel.
Yeah. No, this is fine. Let's see. Let me check on Unholy Strength for a second. I'm wondering if I can bust this thing out as is. Well, probably not as a bat, but... So the little bat just sits for at least a few minutes and thinks.
Sure. You can be perched there, warm and dry.
Upside down at the top of the barn, or the stable.
Stable, barn. Sort of synonymous.
Unholy Strength, you only get... it's only spiritual force. And then... so totally. Yeah, so we're going to turn into human Malcifer, probably out front of the barn, and crush our way in and bust out this horse. Because that's the kind of badass necromancer we got right here.
You want to break in from the outside, not break out from the inside.
I think that's the easiest, right? Like, because it's locked from the outside, right? It's not locked from the inside.
That's true.
Right,
yeah, it's a padlock on the outside of the barn.
Right, so if we take the horse and ride it out, like there's no way to ride it out of, you've got to, yeah. Right. So the bat will fly, in bat form, Malcifer flies out to the front door, and is going to turn back into a human, and Unholy Strength the lock and just crush it in his hand. But maybe I get surprised by like a guard or something like that with that horrible perception check.
No.
Or someone spots me from the window of the manor house.
Not to your knowledge, at least.
In the dark of night, in a cool leather jacket or whatever he's wearing. I do need to exchange HP for the strength, correct?
Strength.
The subject of the spell makes an exchange of HP for strength.
Yeah.
So I do. Okay. So that isn't very. Maybe we'll only use this if we need to. What's the possibility of a 14 strength character breaking a lock?
Well, if you want to break the lock, it's going to be really difficult. But the gate itself is... I mean, it's like a barn door, right? You could use an open doors check to bash it down. It might be locked, but like, the frame of the gate is weaker than the lock itself. Yeah,
I think we're gonna try with our current strength and do the Unholy Strength plan otherwise. So open doors is the D20 greater than 8?
No, it's going to be less than 8.
Yeah, less than 8. Or I can do a D20 plus 8, and it's just got to be a 21.
That'll do.
An 11, no.
You batter against the door, it shakes and rattles.
We'll go, and Unholy Strength isn't cumulative. Can I keep buffing my strength every round until I? How do I min-max this? Do I on this next round? Do I roll? Can I do 1 HP for 1 strength, and then some later round do a few more HP for? Oh, but it's spiritual.
Sure, as long as you keep paying the spiritual cost, you can keep doing that.
And all of its bypasses spirit armor, correct?
Yes.
I don't think I want to go. Let's do to 17, I think.
Sure. With open doors, you can just keep trying. It just creates noise, unlike Ben Bar's lift gates. Yeah, open doors can You can sit here until you bash this down. It might just take you a while, and with all the banging on the gate, someone might hear you.
I wanted to try the bend bars, lift gates then before straight. I guess that's what I meant. I was talking about crushing the lock, right?
Oh, well, that's a 7% chance.
Yeah,
on
which
a
is
D100.
low.
Yeah.
But that's what I probably would have done that first, but failed.
Right.
Then get frustrated and kick it, then buff my strength. I think we're gonna go up 3 to a 17.
That gives you a 10 on a D20. D20
If
plus 10.
if I do 4 to 18,
It's
that just
plus
go straight
11.
to 18.
Then the check is 11 instead of 10.
Yeah.
50-50 chance.
Let's just 3 to 17 seems fine. For some reason, 18 feels better, but I don't think it actually matters in this case.
No.
I think an 18 strength Neal Romancer.
Neal Romancer. Is that someone who romances the Neal?
Oh, whoa. Does that happen?
I don't know, but Neal Romancer certainly sounds like it.
All right, 15, down to 15 HP. 109 years. I'm gonna go to 17 strength.
Bash it down.
And bash it down. At this point, 50-50 is probably better than that 10% bend bars lift gates.
At 17 strength, that is a 13%.
Which is cooler? Do I roll another D100 or another D20?
I feel like since you only got a plus 5% chance to your bend bars lift gates, you should just get a 5% chance now, rather than getting like the cumulative sum.
I thought every time your circumstances changed, you re-rolled.
You're right, they do. You're right, they do. I am definitely trying to nerf you in the moment. We can play with the real
But I roll a
rules.
99, so it doesn't matter. If I can still do the bash the door down over the course of 5 minutes.
So you,
And
there
I
you
don't
go.
even get it. But,
Oh no, you didn't add. Oh no. If you had added instead of trying
that's
to
what I
roll
meant to
under.
do, but I didn't. Open doors
Did you
is
really
10.
mean to add your 10
No,
to it?
I don't know. I forgot
right.
what my new one was, so I just rolled a d20.
Okay.
So here's this vampire out hammering on their
Necromancer.
barn door in the middle of the night.
All right.
But I can keep doing this, right? I get it on the second round of
So it's been like 5 minutes of you trying to get into this barn. And as soon as you bash down the doors, a shovel swings towards your head. With a 2, it comes up and down like next to you, hitting the ground. Before you is a stable boy, or maybe a stable man, a groom.
Yeah. So this guy, there's no way he is proficient in the shovel as a weapon. Or at least that's the gamble I'm taking. So I can make unarmed attacks against him with no opportunity attacks. Is that how it works?
That's fine.
In the system?
Yeah, I
Right,
think so.
can I make like an unarmed attack to like wrestle this shovel from his hand? Right. He's not capable of he's not a knight with proficient in a longsword.
Right.
Take an opportunity attack.
I don't think shovels grant you opportunity attacks. They are unwieldy.
Maybe someday an intrepid smith will invent a combat shovel that would grant him an opportunity attack. But for now,
Et tu, Brute? Et tu?
for now, Mousefer is gonna just turn around, staring disdainfully at this poor summer child, and wrestle the shovel. So I either grab him or grab the shovel and
Give me an
overpower.
initiative roll.
Yeah, D10 plus 3 for my weapon speed. Ooh, 11. Not that good.
He rolled a 1. I don't think shovels have a weapon speed of 10. So he'll go first.
You can bring the shovel up.
And he begins to shout, "Intruder! Intruder!" But the storm is loud and his voice doesn't carry that far. He brings the shovel up and down again with a 14 to hit.
I don't even think that actually hits my AC. I've got chainmail on.
It clatters harmlessly against your
Yeah, I
AC,
think-
your chainmail. The shovel's edge, like running along it, had you not been wearing that chainmail, that edge of the shovel could have badly wounded you, but
You know what I think it is I'm gonna, well, we'll see how I do on this counterattack. Melee hit adjust of 1, and then I've got a 1 for my Thaco, so I'm rolling at +2. With a 9, it's
No
not
good.
enough to catch the shovel, and I only get 1 attack around. You are the intruder here. And I guess it rolls on. 1 minute combat rounds are so strange.
Yeah, because it's not just a single attack back and forth. It's more of like an ongoing spar. And the rolls that we make are
Does he drive me into the stables, or does...
no, he's trying to keep you out of the stable. So he's got these like broad swings in front of you, back and forth, trying to keep you at distance.
Is he inside of the structure, or
He
was
was.
he
Yeah,
okay, so
that's
it
what
wasn't
that
a shovel.
perception
I thought he
check
came
for.
up and hit me over the head with the shovel. He
He came from
jumped
inside. Yeah, he heard you bashing down the gate, grabbed a shovel, and as soon as it came down, he tried to hit you. Now he's just trying to keep you out, like thrusting and slashing and stabbing and bringing it over his head. We go to the next round of combat, the second round of combat. He gets, I'm going to say, has a speed of 7,
Okay.
so he gets
He'll roll
12.
1. So we'll take one last roll to hit. Grab this kid.
Oh my god.
Natural 20. Okay.
You grab him by the throat.
Grab the shovel and tell him it's, run for your life, boy. And roll. Mouse for suddenly becoming a gruff old man, even though he's a...
He has many years of
overboard.
experience.
So should I roll a strength check to disarm, or to like pull the shovel out?
Yeah, let's just do a post-strength check.
I don't think I'm doing,
I think you've got like one hand on his neck and one hand on his shovel, and you're just like trying to rip it from him.
I grab...
He's a strong stable boy. They need strong arms on the farm. But he only rolls a 17.
Yeah. Only a 22, but that's enough to, I think, pull the shovel away from him and, like, give him an opportunity to run for his life, like I said.
He will. Yes.
Okay.
You throw him to the ground or you release him and he bolts, making a beeline for the manor house down on the coast. Just a scant
maybe, hopefully we're
couple hundred
lucky
feet
here
away.
with the shovel. I think Mouse first strides to the back of the stables and uses this tool that the lovely stable boy handed him to break open if there's a lock on the...
no, there's not. It's just like
a
a wooden, what do you call it, a brace or a bar. Just a simple wooden bar so anyone can undo it, but the horse can't get out.
Okay, then we throw the shovel to the ground and unleash the stallion from its, what do you call it? Its stall?
Stall.
And roll an animal handling check, I think, for horse riding.
Yeah.
Which would you prefer?
Horseback riding.
Horseback riding is way better.
Yeah. It's also way more appropriate. You easily control this horse, even though it
comes naturally. I think I don't know.
You don't have a saddle for it, and you can just ride it straight out, bareback, into the storming night.
Yeah. The stable door just flapping in the storm. A stable boy left behind with a harrowing tale.
And you can
reach left with one new horse.
It'll take you the rest of the night and then some to make it back to Winter's Reach. Navigating the woods in the dark on a horse
These woods are my
difficult.
home. I have a proficiency in horse riding. I think many a time Mousifer has ridden on horseback through the Plumwood, right?
Yeah. Let's just see if you can make it through the Corval-Lorwyn Pinespur line without being caught
I
or
think
spotted.
it'd be fair for them to spot me.
Yeah. Oh, not on a natural one, they don't. The scouts and guards who are supposed to be keeping an eye on this line to make sure no one slips through have retreated into their tents on this stormy night. Sort of not entirely abandoned their post, but are keeping warm, because who would travel in a night like this?
They're even. Did they not even hear the clattering of hooves on the wind, or?
No. Nope. They just heard the splashing of water from regular animals in the woods and the constant dripping, the rolls of thunder, their own coughing and wheezing because everyone's got TB in this dark time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You make it back to Winter's Reach sometime the next morning.
Yeah.
The rainstorm does continue into the next day. You can only tell the difference between night and day because instead of being so dark you can't see anything, it's just so dark you have a hard time seeing. But you do make it back to Winter's Reach some day and a half later.
Mm-hmm. And we, ride this stolen stallion straight to the estate.
Mm-hmm. By the time you arrive, you're tired and sore from the bareback chafing on this wet horse.
Phrasing, Neal.
Buddy,
This whole scene is...
I have been in pain. Riding a horse is some of the worst pain I have ever felt. Maybe that might be a slight exaggeration, but let me tell you, that bouncing, there are things that fall underneath that get bounced upon, and that's with a good saddle in an easy environment. Oh. Don't know how the Mongols did it. Anyway, you're back in your estate. I believe this is day 122.
Of the campaign?
Yes.
I didn't know we were tracking days here. I was tracking years.
McTacky tracks days for us because we don't deserve McTacky.
And yeah, we will. Yeah, I guess the villagers of Winter's Reach are the only witnesses that could corroborate that poor stable boy's story.
Mm-hmm. But they'll never know, and he'll never have anyone to believe him. Well, they'll believe him because it's broken and the horse is stolen.
It'll be another ghost story that the people of these lands will tell themselves.
Yep.
Let the legends of the Neal Pyre spread.
Well, you've got your horse. You're tired.
Yeah, so I think inexplicably their lord, some day and a half after rambling to them about black horses, comes riding into town with another one.
Yep. And you put them both in your stable?
Put it in the stable and leave Carrie. Probably Tomas. Carrie's a chicken tender. She can't... Can't be trusted. I don't know.
Well, I can't.
And we will rest up and heal up. So I believe after... At some point, my strength would have dipped back down to like an 11 or something like that, which I guess isn't game ending, or I mean, which is fine. It's just like 11 strength. What am I, a peasant?
Yeah.
So I eventually
regular
need to
person.
recover.
It returns at a rate of 3 points per day.
Per day. So it'll take a day to rest and recuperate. Plus all that HP.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know how long it takes to, well, you know. But,
you also notice around you there's this this smell of death and decay that like seems to be coming from your arms and your own body. That'll linger until your strength is restored.
Yeah.
Because your flesh is actually rotting.
Yeah, it's okay. So I guess concern for me, I think Rosegrove would smell the stench of undeath and send for Lilith to come and heal and rub me with her perfumes, or
yeah, she comes and
stuff me with rosemary.
She can smell the death in the air and asks you where you've been wounded.
I don't think there are there visible wounds?
There are no visible wounds.
Yeah, so what happens in the, can she treat, I mean, I guess she can Is it still with a proficient healer and herbalist? I can still recover better from these.
Yeah. Because you have like rotting stuff, so she can come in and clean. Maybe make some incisions and drain the pus that's developing, like squeeze out all the gross stuff, and then like patch it up with appropriate things that promote healing and growth. But you will have to show her that you're not wounded and that it's the actual underlying muscle that is rotting. Are you comfortable sharing that information with her?
Yeah, right? I feel like that's almost more a discovery she's making than Malcifer, right? I mean, I guess.
Right, so she comes up and asks...
She's the proficient healer.
Where's your injury, my lord? She asks.
I think the healing arts, especially for a creepy wood witch like our friend Lilith here, are much, I don't know.
I guess you don't give a direct reply.
I've sustained no injuries.
Gives a bit of a sigh and comes over and like helps you take off your chainmail, and like unbuttons your shirt and starts like examining your arms and body for signs of injury.
Sacrifice of the spirit.
Nods in understanding.
Is there actually pus to drain, or is...
Yeah, she'll find like a spot in your arm and pull out a very small, sharp blade and give you like a small cut, and just like white pus sort of oozes out, and she kind of takes your whole arm and like tries to gather it all up and squeeze it out through here and wipes it off with a rag and stitches you back up with a little bit of needle and thread and puts a poultice over it, binds it, then goes to your lower arm and sort of does the same thing and makes lots of small incisions and like drains these nasty fluids from you.
Malcifer finds that extremely distasteful. Mostly the cosmetic injuries. I'm fine with the trait of HP and the cycle of souls, but seeing it scarred across his body.
She's a good healer.
I guess looking at him, he's got that nasty crit he took from a longsword, right?
Mm-hmm. And these markings that she's making on you are small incisions that are being immediately stitched up and healed over. They might leave small scars, but the scars will fade in a year or so,
I think Malcifer stops her and says, "Don't stitch them up." And I think sitting up, we'll summon Lord Rosegrove to be trained.
Lord Rosegrove arrives,
and instead of having Lilith stitch up the wound, so she'll like bleed and I don't know, drain Malcifer's fetid arms, and we'll just leave the wounds open and let them heal supernaturally through the draining of the HP. And I think I can only grab, like, if I recall, 2 from Lord Rosegrove.
I think so. I think he has 5 HP. I don't really remember, but it's probably somewhere around there.
Yeah. The butcher isn't at the estate, right? Or someone meaty. It's a lot of HP.
No, the butcher is here. He does live in the estate with you. Your estate now has Tomas, Lord Rosegrove, Carrie, and the butcher all live here. I think Carrie lives in the stables, and Blair might live in the stables with her as well.
No, Blair is a rat catcher.
Yeah, she lives in town then? Okay.
She's like she shows up with bags full of rats that maybe by now they're keeping them in cages in the stable or something like that. Sure, might be right.
And so while you summon Lord Rosegrove I guess after you summon Lord Rosegrove, do you drain 2 of his hit points, or of his hit points?
Yeah, we'll do that. Rather in lieu of the stitches and scars, we use our dark magics to heal up those wounds. I only sustained actually 3 points of damage from that unholy strength. So if I drain it back directly into that, I feel like it would. Anyways, so we'll gain top up 2 points of HP. Oh, and the rest was from turning into a bat.
Yeah. Yeah. So that
took
you're down
3
6.
HP. Yeah. And is that also like a? I don't know.
I think all of this can be healed magically. I don't think there's any.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
right?
that's fine.
It just right. That's totally it. Right? Vampire flies in and feeds his way back to full from having to spend all his HP changing forms, holding essences.
Perfect.
Powering himself with unholy strength.
After you drain Lord Rosegrove of some of his HP and restore yourself, Lilith, who's been standing by in the corner, approaches you and drops to one knee and says, Lord Winter, you have been in need of my healing services more and more. Might I suggest I move my apartment to the estate so as to better serve you?
I know she wants to move in.
Can you make this commitment?
Of course. You can we pull up the map?
Yes.
There's plenty of room in the estate. Like it's kind of absurd that we haven't moved in our witch doctor yet, but
Here we go. Here's Winter's Reach.
yes, of course. You may set up an apothecary in the back room. Let's see. I don't know which one. What are all these? I don't know what. I think all of these.
I think they're all empty right now.
These are all empty. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the upstairs. This is like the servants' quarters, so I think that's where the butcher and Tomas live. They both live here together. I think Lord Rosegrove probably has this as his own personal room. This, of course, would be your room. And then the ground floor is these 3 bedrooms on the left side are unattended. They're open for whoever would like them.
And the back right one is the kitchen?
No, this is a kitchen
perfect.
here. This is a library. Those are bookshelves, I believe. Yeah.
What is this?
Some sort of meeting hall. Maybe that's where the servants take their meals. So,
I think she would have. I think this room. Well, I don't know what this back room is called.
the library.
In the adjoining tower. Does it
in the
connect
adjoining
to the
tower. You can enter the tower from the 2nd floor only.
Oh,
So you
really?
could, yeah, you could make that her room, but she'd have to go through your bedroom to get there. Either of these rooms over here could be made appropriate if you'd like.
How about there's a creepy one with a bunch of spider webs. That seems perfect. You can have the spider closet.
She will go about turning it into her
all
own
of these
apothecary.
rooms look like you write it. Yeah, of course. You know, set up your apothecary wherever. You don't. Yeah.
Excellent.
Should I invite it? Is she a creepy vampire too? Do I have to invite her or something into the house, or she's allowed in?
No. I mean, I don't know. You already invited her in, so that ship has sailed a long time ago.
Either way, I probably need some wooden stakes for my bandolier.
Just in case Lilith turns on you, tries to drain your blood.
Right. Those would be suitable spiritual weapons, wouldn't they? Once living.
Yes, they would.
That crossed my mind, but intricately carved bone daggers was too epic to pass up.
Okay, so Lilith moves in to the estate. In the servants' hall over here on the far side. Oh, no one's fucking. I didn't bring up the map.
I think those were the abandoned women's servants' quarters.
Yes.
Right, like this was all, yeah, I mean, there's women's servants' quarters, but there's no
We're no women
members
servants
of the
for a
house, so
while.
this whole wing has been left sealed up.
No, this is Lord Rosegrove's room.
Oh, so Lord Rosegrove moved into the women's wing after the last
Yes.
last female servant passed away, and he just like took that whole wing for himself.
Yeah, this is the only room that he's been
let it
tending
go to cobwebs.
No one needs these rooms. No need to keep them up. We're a simple house.
Well, the world has gotten more complicated.
Tell me about it. Right. So, Lord Rosegrove has been trained. You've gained HP. Lilith will spend the day, actually the next few days, moving her possessions in and arranging things, contracting with some of the workers in town that owe her money or favors for all of the work she's done for them, free of charge, to build furniture that will be appropriate for her needs. Lilith has been...
Was that Norman, the carpenter that made that skull throne for Malcifer?
It is, yes.
Does he also decorate Lilith's wing, or does she have a different aesthetic in mind than skull thrones? And
she has a different aesthetic. She wants fairly typical shelving and everything, but if there's any bogwood around, she's specifically asking for that. And most of the bogwood is actually found near Gator Beach.
Malcifer wonders what this bogwood is. And maybe you read about it in a book.
So yes, bogwood
or
is,
touched it in a different life.
Bogwood is wood that has been, well, left in a bog and takes on a black, charcoaly color to it. So it's very dark, borderline black wood. I think I have some bogwood dice.
Really?
In a bag somewhere, yeah.
What were you consulting? Did you have D&D notes on bogwood, or were you like Googling bogwood?
When I was getting the engagement ring I was going to ask Lauren to marry me with, I was looking up all sorts of things because I got her a wooden ring. And bogwood is pretty fucking cool looking. And so I almost got her a bogwood ring before I decided on the route that we went with. If you just Google bogwood,
cool. Yeah. What I was alluding to was Zweihard's bogwood axe.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Bogwood as a handle for one of his.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think I've still probably got that on some character sheet somewhere, and all of its crazy bonuses to crits or whatever it did. But another campaign.
Another time.
So Lilith moves in, heals me up. We rest at least the 24 hours to gain back our strength.
Okay. The storm will pass. It blows itself out over a period of 48 hours, so I think by now, when you wake up, it's gone. And in the morning, when you finally come to, after everything is done, it's nice and peaceful, quiet. You can hear the sound of the ocean from the offshore breeze kind of just rolling into your house. Outside your window, you can see that there have been a few people gathered. Apparently in the storm, one of the trees in your orchard got blown over, and so some folks have gathered around to finish ripping the tree out and remove the stump, which will be an all-day process, and clear it from the orchard, take it into town, and chop it up for use. Your people look generally content with their lot. You know, they gather on their own to remove the tree. You can hear the construction from the room next door where Lilith is building a new home. You can hear the cries of the butcher out near the stable saying, "Fresh meat, come and get it!" as the workers kind of put down their tools for a moment and go over to where he's grilling some probably rat or something, who knows, but they're all kind of lining up for their rat hot dogs. Despite all the creepiness, you do have a productive, self-sustaining, happy little town guarded by skeletons.
Mouth sort of thinks back to a different dark and stormy night. That stump out on the east side of the manor.
Only 4 months ago,
Simpler times.
stumbled upon that hatch buried underneath the earth.
Lord Winter takes a walk through his estate out to the barn. Find Carrie.
Carrie is currently passing out some chicken feed to a bunch of chickens that are pecking around this like a larger fenced area she's created around the barn.
And of the horses.
They are parked in the barn, just chilling.
Are they fed?
Oh yeah, they got a whole bunch of food, some delicious meats that they're not used to eating that they seem quite interested in. The zombies and skeletons are far enough away that they can't detect them or notice them, so they're happily munching on their stuff. And while they're currently in separate stalls, you can see the stallion is, checking out the mare around. But it's not time, she's not in heat, so he doesn't really care. I gotta figure out how often horses go into heat. Every 19 to 22 days from early spring into autumn. Uh-oh, we're gonna have to start nailing down when this campaign takes place. I know that's what I want to do, but...
He's simulating the fertility of a NPC horse.
Yes, that's my day job. Simulating fertility of fantastic beasts. Oh my. It is day 1 of the horse's cycle, so it'll be at least about 20 days before she's ready. She must have been just coming out of heat then when you
Are you
first
sure it's
took
not
her.
perfect timing and they got it on last night and I've already got a pregnant mare? Or is Carrie not the
Oh god,
mare?
I guess technically you're right. It would have been last night that the heat would have been ending, right?
Right, I've been in like a coma for 24 hours. Recovering from the unholy strength. I mean, not exactly a coma, but I've been in bed rest for a full day. Right?
Carrie would have known that your goal was to mate these horses.
Yeah, right. I came back rambling about getting the horse fat, and now I've got to go collect all the horses. And
All right. So they had one beautiful night together in the storm. I'll roll a horse fertility check to see if it took. That's a con check for the horse.
didn't we test out the intricacies of this system before?
Mama B?
Yeah, or was that with divine intervention?
That was with divine
So
intervention.
this is an unaided.
Yeah, you'd need a cleric of Martha to make sure the horse takes. You know what I mean? Ooh, that does not look like a good con check. I don't think. No, it's gonna take another attempt. Another try.
I thought it was this. Who's rolling a con check here?
The mare. The pass would be creation of a child, a horse embryo.
When you put it like that. All right. Then I guess we're stuck waiting 3 weeks
3 weeks.
for a nightmare. Yes, in that time, there's probably dead to raise. Carrie, line up the chickens. The sacks of rats. Oh no, I guess we wanted to wait till level 8 for a max raising, right? It's just
I don't
not
know.
efficient then.
It might be a while before you hit level 8, right? Because you hit level 7. before that last battle, actually.
Level 6 was the bat.
Hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. I really played with my poltergeist either. We're also waiting for the. I mean, I guess no matter what, we've got a couple of weeks, right? There's no better use of that time than raising undead, even if it's not as efficient. So we'll still gather up the chickens and the rats and at least cull their population, right? Because you don't want a whole bunch of, like, once they're a. Yeah.
What do you mean?
And they don't stay fresh, right? They're probably in dying off, right? These are like, catch rats. You wanna sacrifice them fresh.
Right, because
Leave them on stock in the
you're
barn.
not going to feed the rats, right? So eventually they'll starve or eat each other. So you need to
so we got to work through some of them.
continually cull them. Mm-hmm. So you can raise 8 skeletons a day of any kind you want. What are you going to start with?
I think we're gonna head out into the. We're gonna gather up enough chickens or probably rats, sacks of like clubbed rats at this point, right? And drag them out to the battlefield, take them out to the battlefield, and raise some skeletons. By now, the specialists have been working for a day and a half, 2 days, and they have certainly. What's the word?
Sorted out the undead?
Yeah, flayed
bones.
some bodies, I guess. Probably with the help of a ghoul instructed to not actually eat the bones, to just eat the flesh.
Right.
We will probably, I guess we don't have any large or medium animals, so at this point we just want to raise skeletons. And we can actually re-raise skeletons that I lost in the battle, correct?
Yes. Yes,
The
you
better
can.
use of the time or whatever would be to raise higher level skeletons, but I don't have the sacrifices for it.
Right.
So I think we'll just start, and I guess we're just going to crank away. We can only do 8 a day, correct?
Correct.
So we will pass some time, I think, until you interrupt me.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you've got time. You have time.
So, how many days do we want to pass?
You
It'll
can easily
be
pass
3
a week.
weeks until we've got a horse, or another shot at a horse.
Right.
I'm still interested in tracking down more
More horses?
but I don't think we'll actively pursue that. I think because we want that breastplate to be done, which is probably in also some number of weeks. I don't know how.
Right, I think we said 2 or 3 weeks, and it was started a while ago. I think probably by the end of this week it'll be done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting real close.
So we'll do 8 skeletons a day. Basic. Let's see. Just the small animal, right? It doesn't take any sacrifice other than.
Nope, just a small animal.
So at 8 a day, 8 rats. Take them on out to the field and raise the dead, and slowly but surely, help chip away at this battlefield.
Lovely.
So how many days shall I pass? How many
7
skellies should I add?
days.
Flip a week. Just the regular skeletons. 7 times 8. We're back up to 146 skeletons. By now, I think the army will have advanced along with me. So if we want to back out to the world map, or what do we think?
Yes, let us go to the world map.
Well, actually, the battlefield wasn't too far, but I think the battlefield is where the army will be. No longer in the village itself. But the Blood Knights typically aren't far from their lord.
Yeah. You move out into the Blumwood, which is all peaceful and washed clean after the battle. Well, it's got to be springtime now or something like that. I'm not sure exactly where, but I think it's springtime. And the birds are out and they're chirping despite the carnage everywhere. At least they are chirping until you arrive with your army.
Well, this is out at that battlefield.
Right. Yeah. And as you arrive, I would like you to make me a perception check.
Sure. This is presumably where we've been raising and processing dead for a week, right?
Yeah, I think your skeletons have been working all through the rainy night, doing their thing.
No, we don't notice it. Do we?
It's fine.
Do we get ambushed or anything? Or are we?
No, this is not a danger check. This is, doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter. This is one of those things where if you don't pass it, you don't know what happens, and then later someone calls DM hacks. I'm like, well, this one time you failed the perception check, and now, da-da-da-da-da-da. It's essentially DM hacks. You
I know the
arrive.
feeling.
Yeah, you
I'm
arrive.
guilty of that as a DM a lot, where I'm like, roll a perception check. All right, moving on. Never mind.
Yep. You arrive, and your skeletons have flayed many bodies and stacked the meat on one side and the bones on the other, and a lot of dead here. A lot of the meat has been rotting. It's been out in the rain and the stormy weather. Did you want to? Didn't once upon a time you had a desire to use this human flesh as like animal feed or something?
I think it's human flesh. I think it's ghoul food at this point.
Okay.
And zombie food. Do zombies need to eat?
No.
Do ghouls need to eat? Not really.
Ghouls regenerate HP by eating the dead.
Yeah, but if they weren't wounded, then nah.
Then they don't need it.
We need more ghouls to make this operation more sustainable. Is what I'm hearing.
The ghouls are really good at eating flesh off of creatures. They're perfect for it.
What? Zombie, ghoul. Yeah, you need fresh dead and you need HP. That would have been. I should have raised ghouls after the battle immediately. But
well, you could raise them now.
Can I? Are these considered freshly dead? Intact brains?
Let's see.
How fresh is fresh?
Well, this battle was a few days ago, and it's been rained on, which has kept the temperature down. I would say they're not preserved, but they're still freshly dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their faces are still recognizable. They're not like decomposed. They might be like a little bit bloated, or a little bit rotted, but they're mostly intact.
Yeah, then I would have liked to raise some ghouls as well to assist in these endeavors.
Let's put ghoul, let's say freshly dead is within 1 week.
You should really simulate the decomposition of the body.
You're right. Let me go find a body and leave it out, and I'll let you know when it turns unready for ghouls. Does anyone have a body I can borrow for a week? I need to talk to like an ME, medical examiner.
Noob man and I volunteer.
Excellent. Noob man is definitely a denizen of Winter's Reach.
Correct. That's not simulation. That's an experiment. We'll just simulate it with our dice.
Aftermath.com/content/human decomposition. What are the four? Oh my god, guys, this. Look at the image on like this page regarding human decomposition. It's this like young lady like looking off into the distance with like a smile on her face, like, yes, what are the stages of decomposition? Put the link in Twitch chat.
Well then, just like us, is she pondering the inevitable decomposition of the organic matter which constitutes
Let's see.
us all?
8 to 10 days after death, the body turns from green to red as the blood decomposes and the organs in the abdomen accumulate gas. Several weeks after death is when nails and teeth fall out. So I think we can do 10 days.
Yeah.
10 days is a good period of time.
And in those days, I can raise 8 ghouls a day.
Yes. But it's already been like 3 days, I think. So you have 7 days left.
Well, I already added all those skeletons, right? Or is this
you already did a
something
week
that
of skeletons?
I don't know. I mean, I can change that.
Yeah, why don't we have that,
ghouls.
switch that back to ghouls, because
So,
yeah.
Okay, so do 4 days of skeletons and 3 days of ghouls. So I can do 8 ghouls a day.
You can do 8 ghouls a day. Yeah.
That will take 24 years, right? We're going to be ready to feed, aren't we?
That'll be 24 years, and it'll be 2 HP a day, so 6 HP.
Of which I gained some. I gained 3 a day.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine. If you gain 3 a day with the healer and you use 2 a day for raising, you'll be gaining HP.
I think Lilith has to become like a psychologist or psychiatrist to treat Malzifer's spiritual wounds, or maybe a clergy. Maybe that's what you need a religion proficiency for. Like you've got to go have these spiritual talks with your pastor to ease your spiritual wounds. Is that what I need?
You need to heal the soul.
I need to 24 years. We're back down to the double-digit years here. 84. What am I, immortal?
Ugh.
We require more sacrifices. All right. You okay?
Oh yeah, I just realized what this aftermath.com is about. It's a cleaning service for if there's been like a murder in your area, they'll come and like clean up the blood and everything. That's what that webpage that I linked was. They're the like post-traumatic death cleaning service. Specialists in trauma cleaning and biohazard removal.
I think they're talking about diarrhea. At least that's what I'm gonna go with.
24/7 crime scene and trauma cleanup. At least the guy on the front page looks more concerned. He's not quite so happy. He's like, oh no, there's a body here. What do I do?
Neal, what are we gonna do with you?
I have no idea. Property managers, commercial and industrial companies, military and government agencies. These are the industries we serve.
Oh lordy, okay.
Okay, we're done. I'm gonna stop looking at this. It's really
things that you probably could have figured existed but didn't really need to talk about on stream.
Yeah. Especially with such like peaceful, beautiful music playing. All right. So you raise ghouls.
Yeah.
You only raised 3 days of ghouls, was it?
Yeah, I only have 24 more ghouls. I think 1 ghoul is enough. Wasn't that your response when I asked at which point something? So I don't know what it was.
How many ghouls are too many ghouls?
It's how many skeletons are too many.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, 1 skeleton is way too many.
Yeah. So it's been a week. Is the armor done after a week? Is that what what this increment was about?
Yes, it has been refitted, and now it's been bent into shape that it will cover you comfortably. And if you move back and forth, it doesn't dig into you. It's not too long. It's not too tight. It's perfect.
Are you gonna roll
check?
A check of some kind?
I will roll a check. A pass indicates that it how do we say? It still looks good. A failure is that he had to just beat it into shape and it's kind of battered and ugly. So
there's no quality increases.
You mean bonuses or penalties to AC?
I'm trying to remember what the armor. So did we do a whole lot of armor crafting? It was mostly weapons.
We did weapon crafting.
Oh yeah, and in Zweihaard we had armor just do damage soak.
Right.
Which I've been, yeah.
I still think there's something to that. I have an alternate combat system that works with that, where you don't have THACO or bonuses to hit. You just have a combat stat that you roll for versus a combat stat that somebody else rolls for, and then the winner deals damage to the other one. And it's not I make these attacks, it's I'm engaged with this person, so we make opposed rolls to see who deals damage this round.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've got some stuff I've been working on that I'll need to write down and run by you later. Some ideas, man. I don't know if they're any good though.
Yeah, I got some house rules myself to tinker with. Another campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we?
Ghouls. You've raised 24 ghouls, I believe.
Yeah, total of 27, but
buttload of
24 in the last 3 days.
You're
rolling on the breastplate. That's
right, breastplate. Yeah, that's a pass. He beats it into shape, and it looks pretty good. It's a little, the original patterning on it is slightly stretched in some areas or crunched in some others, but it looks more or less fine.
Can you roll a charisma check or a collaboration check? Well, the idea was that he would work with one of the bone whittlers
to make the bone.
And we were going to set bone knives and stuff in it. What?
Yeah. Oh, that goes even better. That's a natural 17 plus his skill. So, super good.
He's he's got this sweet zombie hand now. So every craftsman in town wants to work with him, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not just marked by his lord. He's a favored one of his lord. He does have a bit of a smell around him, but that's probably just the sulfur from the forge that is always running now. So yeah, you've got
demon-handed blacksmith.
You've got a breastplate, and tell me how you wanted to have these bone holders in it. Are they sheaths built into the armor? Or
I hadn't really thought that through, and I've already role played a blacksmith, so I was planning on turning this over to the NPC's control. That's why I was sort of asking if they would roll a charisma check to or whatever to.
Yeah, let's see how good it looks. It looks pretty solid as well.
Yeah, but I was could even be bone carving over. Built in crazy bone spikes that Mousefer can break off and use as spiritual weapons. Or I don't know. I already have it. The bone daggers have already been carved. Maybe they're sheaths. I was imagining something more organic. So it's just steel and bone. So it's a steel breastplate with bone.
With bone almost like inlays across the collarbone. Sure. There are bones inlaid on it, and across where the ribs of the breastplate would be, there are bone ribs on top of that. And then those bone ribs have
going to end up being a
10-pound
bone rib cage thing. So maybe there's some whittlers that are also going to have to roll checks here.
Yeah, can they whittle the bone?
Roll the.
That's a questionable roll. What is their stat? Oh, okay, but they have high stats, so that's a fine pass. Okay. Yeah, so the bone armor gets made. There are bones on top of the breastplate, and some of these can be tugged out, and they'll just slide out of their sheath, and then you can use it as a spiritual weapon and tuck it back in. If they break off, they can whittle new bones to replace them. So all of the ribs can be removed. And I don't know if you have all your ribs.
Most definitely a necromancer, though.
Yeah, there are.
There's no denying it with the lordly breastplate like that.
There are 8 ribs on a side for this piece of armor, so you should have 16 pieces of bone you can pull out for spiritual weapons.
Oh, 16. I had 10 noted, but 16 might even be too many. So that means it's a 16-pound thing.
No, because these are small things. They're not like full pound daggers, right? Bone weighs less than steel, at least old bone. So they probably each weigh like a quarter of a pound or something. No, there's also let's say it's an extra 8 pounds above the normal weight for all the additions. You've got your bone breastplate now. What does that bring your AC up to?
It would be
17.
I think it's the same, but light, right? Isn't a breastplate just plus
5?
5. Oh, but I could have chain arms, is what you're saying, right?
You could have the chain limbs, or you could just have the breastplate, depending on your weight requirements.
I think the plan was to do, for the breastplate and all these, and the bardish, and my pickled bat hearts, which are negligible. I'm still only at 55 pounds out of 85. Oh no, I need to drop my strength back from 17. Back down to 14, makes my weight allowance 55. That's perfect, actually. So if I don't have chain, I don't think the breastplate is going to be on all the time, right? Because like I said, that's like you're making it pretty clear for anyone who looks at you that you're the necromancer in town. If you walk in with even a steel breastplate is pretty conspicuous, is it not?
Certainly. And also there's the question of, how do you want to live your life? Do you want to be paranoid and always looking over your shoulder and wearing your armor at all points in time? Or are you the lord of your lands and you can go without armor because you have no fear of danger or death?
The default, I think the day-to-day is that leather coat, right? Basically that leather trench coat that we started with. That was like leather armor.
Yeah.
Whatever, 15 pounds of black edgelord leather. And we've got this breastplate for war. Can even throw on chain sleeves if we need to.
In times of dire need.
Well then, I don't know how much we need this crossbow and corals, but hey.
I don't know.
It's got a longer range than the bone daggers. All is peaceful in Winter's Reach. And I think if my neighbors don't have anything to say about it.
What neighbors?
Things will continue peacefully for some more weeks as, peace continues here in Winter's Reach. There's horses out to pasture. People are busy. Land is prosperous. Or something, at least relative to the numbers that are left. You can roll on encounter checks. You don't need to use your brain.
Yes, that is true.
It looked like you were computing your random encounter table in your head. I just wanted to save you some.
Thanks, Ryan.
Save you some simulation effort there.
That's great. I'll just roll it instead. Oh, that's perfect. So it's been a week since all these things went down, and on this day, you see out over the water. There is a small ship that has raised a white flag. It's out here, a few miles off the coast, and the flag is sort of like waving back and forth parallel to the land.
Can you ping on the map where it is? Or which
Right
direction?
around here.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the Strait of Amen, waving a white flag in the direction of your manor from, a few miles offshore.
Yeah, Melsifer heads out to the bluffs that border his manor and watches. We don't even have any boats of our own, do we? We scavenged some.
You might
right?
have a few boats
And
for
then there
a
was
few
that,
fishermen.
Remember that assassin? He came by boat and left his boat somewhere.
That's true. There's a boat down the cliffway. There's maybe like a little switchback that runs down the cliffs towards a small beach, and that's where he parked his boat when he came on in. Yeah, I don't think you guys have fishing. You have large cliffs here, so you wouldn't have any docks or anything like that.
Yeah, but I think in the time that the boat pulls up, Malsifer can walk on down to that beach, which is the most likely spot for them to
Yes.
to land.
And what do you bring with you in this situation? You wear your armor.
I think not. No, I think like we said, I think the armor is probably hung above the skull throne or something like that right at this moment.
Okay. Do you bring your blood knights?
You've said that they're always around, right? So I think Malsifer heads off to the bluffs to look, and the Blood Knights follow.
Mm-hmm.
And I was debating whether to like conceal them underwater or in the beach, and like that's. Blood Knights can take ranged weapons, right?
Yes.
They've totally got there are 20 bows we haven't raised skeletal warriors for. That the Blood Knights totally have. So the Blood Knights have sidearms. That's where those bows went.
Okay. So the Blood
And
Knights
they'll,
have
they'll
bows and sidearms, right? Together?
Bows and long swords, and I think shields, right? They can use all that equipment.
Yep.
Mail, and they'll be lined on the bluffs while Malsifer sort of walks down to the beach to see. How long can a necromancer hold an essence?
Indefinitely, I believe.
As long as they lose the HP.
Yep.
It's been a week, so I was at. Did you change my HP to 20?
I have not touched your character.
Okay. So in the week we could have
Eaten another bat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we definitely ate another bat, but we would have definitely healed to 22.
Mm-hmm.
That's only a couple HP, and then we at some point we dined on pickled bat heart, and so we'll be dropped to an 18 with a spiritual armor and a bat essence held.
Mm-hmm.
I need some cool some more animal hearts. But we'll go bat again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we'll walk out to meet them. So armored in leather, there's probably a sinister hunting knife, like strapped to his boot. But the Bardish now is haunted and stays wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe picking up like the crossbow off the mantle as he like heads out. So like so we take a walk down to the beach and size up this ship.
It's a small boat, but it launches an even smaller rowboat off of it, which comes towards you, waving a flag. It takes a while to row all the way in from a mile out or so. So
How many are there on there?
On the arriving boat, there are 2 rowers and 2 other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably rude to bring a weapon to a peaceful meeting.
To a parley.
Maybe not.
It wouldn't be inappropriate to bring a sidearm with you, but it would be inappropriate to draw it.
Mm-hmm. No. We'll have hung the crossbow from one of the Blood Knights before like heading out to the beach to meet this rowboat. And I believe Malsifer will come alone if it's so few men. What you said, 3?
4, including the rowers.
Okay.
So you leave the Blood Knights on the bluff?
What can I... Yeah, and they're partially concealed. Probably, like... So I don't know that these people will notice that there's archers on the... like, hidden on the bluffs, waiting for their lord's command to attack. But... maybe we should roll opposed perception checks, see what I can see on their ship versus what they can see on the
I like
land.
the idea. I like it.
Maybe not even opposed, maybe simultaneous. So I fail, so I probably don't notice any more than the 4
Yep.
rowing to shore.
It's not until they land on the beach and take a few moments to pull up their watercraft onto the sand so it doesn't get swept away by the tide that you notice the lead figure is a woman bearing the amulet of Martha on her neck, a cleric. With her is a knight who stands a few feet behind her, sword or hand on the hilt of his sword but not drawing it. The rowers just quickly stand by the boat and hold it while the cleric approaches you.
Do I recognize any of these people?
No.
There's just a whole new band of adventurers. Okay, I have a flashback to that cleric of Martha dying on my doorstep, or outside my doorstep.
Yes. And who is now eternally haunting your yard, I believe.
Yeah, then we realize this isn't the cleric of Martha that haunts my lawn. This is a new cleric of Martha.
She hasn't come back for you.
You said a swordsman?
A swordsman, yes.
In armor? In plate?
Yep, he's wearing a breastplate, no limbs on it or anything like that, and he's got an arming sword at his side. And that's about
two
it.
rowers. Are they actually secret adventurers, or are they just swordsmen?
If they are, they're well hidden. They just have like loose striped shirts.
Two rogues in the boat. They're all assassins.
They've got like cut off above the knee pants, and they look weathered by the years at sea.
So either a level 0 rower or a level 10 rogue with an exquisite disguise skill.
Yeah, and you failed your perception check, so you don't know which one it is.
And we know which universe we're playing in.
The cleric raises a hand.
Malsifer speaks in Eridonian. Are you lost? And he looks, like in surprise, I guess, at the holy symbol in the night. And then suspiciously to the to the oarsmen and the boat, and waiting for them to ambush or make any suspicious movements.
I believe it's been an hour and a half since our last break, so why don't we take our break right here, and when we come back, we'll see what the cleric has to say. We'll see you guys on the other side, which has a whole bunch of meanings in this campaign that are too thick to roll through. See you guys.